Hello, everybody. This is Tucker Miller here again. And tonight, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm gonna be reviewing on Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Came out in 2001. So anyways, let's get to the plot. So the plot of this movie is we got this guy named Milo James Fetch, voiced by Michael J. Fox. And Milo has an interest in this lost city called Atlantis. And 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 however no one believes that Atlantis exists, and he wants to prove it, and he came across this book or journal that belonged to his grandfather, and is all about Atlantis. And he decided to go on this quest to find Camelot, and he teams up with this Quill, and yeah, and they decided to just find Atlantis, explore Atlantis, and also restore it. And that's basically what the plot of this movie is. Now, what can I say about Atlantis the Lost Empire? This is a very underrated Disney movie. Yeah, Atlantis the Lost Empire is a very underrated Disney film. It's a shame that this movie bombed at unfortunately, this movie sadly bombed at the box office, which, yeah. Yeah, and this is a Disney movie that no one ever talks about. Yeah, this is another, just like stuff like The Black Cauldron, this is another Disney movie that does not get talked about. No one ever talks about. And, yeah. Yeah, and this is also considered to be one of Disney's most underrated Disney films, and I definitely do agree on that. I definitely do agree that this movie is extremely underrated. This is a very underrated Disney film, in my opinion. I know the most underrated Disney films, in my opinion, are The Black Cauldron, The Great Mouse Detective, and this film, Atlantis the Lost Empire. And there are a few others. But, yeah. So anyways, Atlantis has a great story, great characters, and great animation. So yeah, this movie definitely does deserve more recognition and more love. Yeah, again, this is a Disney movie that no one talks about. No one ever talks about. So, yeah. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. Especially if you're a huge Michael J. Fox fan. So, yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the characters, shall we? So, first character we're gonna talk about is Milo Fetch. Milo, he's a great main protagonist, and I would definitely have to say Michael J. Fox did a great job voicing him. Yeah, Michael J. Fox, known as Marty McFly from Back to the Future. And yeah, I definitely have to say Michael J. Fox did a great job voicing Milo for this movie. And of course, we got the main female character, Princess Kita, who was the princess of Atlantis. And Princess Kita, she's a very underrated Disney princess. Well, a Disney princess that is not a part of the Disney princess lineup. Like the lineup with... Yeah, Princess Kita is one of the Disney princesses that is not a part of the official Disney princess lineup, unlike princesses like Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Belle, Ariel, and Jasmine, etc. But yeah, Princess Kita, she's a very underrated. Yeah, Princess Kita, she's a very underrated character. She's a great character, too. So, yeah, she's a very underrated character. And Myra is also very underrated, too. So, yeah. Yeah, and I do love the relationship between Myra and Kita. So, yeah. Yeah, their relationship, I really like their relationship with each other. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Milo and Kita had a great relationship with each other, too. And another, so yeah, Princess Kita, she is a great character. And another character I want to talk about is this guy, Sweet, who is the doctor. Sweet, he is a great, I'll have to say Sweet, he is a great character. You know, the doctor. Again, he is the doctor. So, yeah, Sweet, he's a great character. And, of course, we got this guy named Fanny. Fanny, he is a great character, too. And, of course, we got this character right here, Mo. Mo, he's a very funny character. Yeah, Mo is very hilarious. Yeah, Mo is very hilarious. So, yeah, Mo, very funny character. And another character I want to talk about is Audrey, who is the mechanic. Audrey, she is a great character. And yeah, again, Audrey is the mechanic. Yeah. Yeah, Audrey is the mechanic, like I said, and yeah, Audrey, she is a great character. And another character I wanna and are there any other characters? Oh yeah, this old woman named Williana, if I'm pronouncing her name right, Williana, who is the old woman that is always sarcastic and the radio operator. And yeah, she's a very funny character. And yeah, Williana, very funny character. You know, the old woman that is sarcastic, always sarcastic. And another character I want to talk about is Cookie. Cookie, he's another great character. And fun fact about the character Cookie, he is voiced by Jim Varney, which a lot of you guys know him as Ernest, but personally, I know him as Swinky from the first two Toy Story movies, Toy Stories 1 and 2. And yeah, and this movie right here, Atlantis: The Lost Empire, that was actually Jim Varney's last movie that he was in, because we all know, sadly, Jim Varney, of course known as Ernest, and Swinky Dog from the first two Toy Story movies, has sadly passed away a year before this movie came out in 2000. And this movie came out a year later in 2001. So, yeah. Yeah, rest in peace to Jim Varney. He was a funny guy. Again, a lot of you guys know him as Ernest, but I personally know him as Swinky. Swinky Dog from Toy Stories 1 and 2. So, yeah. Yeah. This movie was Jim Varney's last movie that he was in. So, yeah. Rest in peace to Jim Varney. Because he passed away a year before this movie came out. He passed away in 2000, and the movie came out in 2001. So, yeah. So Cookie, very funny character. And the other characters I want to talk about is Helga, who is the the woman with the blonde hair. Helga, she's a great character. I really liked Helga. You know, the good looking blonde hair the blonde hair woman. Man, did they have to make her so good looking? Okay, I'm gonna stop. So, yeah, Helga, she is a great character, and of course we got the film's main antagonist, Commander Lilo, or Commander Lilo, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Yeah, Commander Lilo, he is a very underrated Disney villain. Yeah, Commander Lilo is a very underrated Disney villain. And I will definitely have to say Dwight James Garner did a great job voicing Commander Lilo. So, yeah. You know, Commander Lilo, James Garner, films that he was in films like The Great Escape and The Notebook, and yeah, and of course, rest in peace to James Garner, because he sadly passed away back in, I believe, 2014. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely have to say the way James Garner did a great job voicing the main antagonist for this film, Commander Lilo. So, yeah. Yeah, so honestly, those are the characters I could think of on top of my head. So, yeah. Atlantis, like I said, Atlantis. Very underrated movie. I thought this was a very, very cool movie. Especially the scene when they're in that vein, in the ship, or whatever. I thought that scene, this is a very cool movie. I really enjoyed this film a lot. Very underrated. Again, this movie deserves more recognition. Again, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. And especially if you're a huge fan of Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future fan, definitely check this movie out because Michael J. Fox is in this movie. So yeah, if you love movies like Back to the Future. So, yeah. But anyways, that's all I can say about Atlantis the Lost Empire. So anyways, I'm gonna give Atlantis the Lost Empire a 9 out of 10. I honestly could not think of any flaw with it, but this is definitely one of the most underrated Disney films of all time. Alongside The Black Cauldron and The Great Mouse Detective. So, yeah. So, anyways, that is it for my movie review on Atlantis the Lost Empire. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which will be on Lilo and Stitch. But until then, see you in the next video. Bye.